I'm adopted, and my biological mother was 17, and so was my biological father. She was 7.5 months pregnant when she decided to go to Planned Parenthood, which is the largest abortion provider in the world, and they counseled her to have a late-term saline abortion, which is a saline salt solution that is injected into the mother's womb. The baby gulps that solution, it burns the baby inside and out, and then she's to deliver a dead baby within 24 hours. And to everyone's great shock and surprise, I didn't arrive dead but alive on April the 6th, 1977 in a Los Angeles County abortion clinic. What's fantastic about this, about the perfect timing of my arrival, is that the abortionist was not on duty yet. So he wasn't even given the opportunity to continue on with his plan for my life, which was death. And so I was delivered alive, as I've already said, after 18 hours. I should be blind, I should be burned, I should be dead. And yet I'm not. You know what is fantastic vindication is the fact that the abortionist had to sign my birth certificate. So I know who he is. And it also says, for any skeptic listening, on my medical records, born during saline abortion. Ha! They didn't win. I've done some research on the man that performed the abortion on me. And his clinics are the largest chain of clinics in the United States of America, and they gross $70 million a year. I read a quote from him at some point several years ago, and he said, "I have aborted over 1 million babies, and I consider it my passion." I tell you these things because, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are in an interesting battle, whether we realize it or not, in this world. It is a battle between life and death. What side are you on? You see, we're playing for keeps. We're playing I'm hoping to be hated by the time that I die so that I can feel God about me and understand what it was to be hated. He was hated. Christ was hated. And I know that I'm in a government building, and a beautiful one it is, and I love your country as well as my own. But I know in the age that we live in, it is not at all politically correct to say the name of Jesus Christ in places like this. To bring him into these sorts of meetings, because his name can make people so terribly uncomfortable. But I didn't survive so I could make everyone comfortable. I survived so I could stir things up a bit. Now I am just compelled to say this. If abortion is merely about women's rights, ladies and gentlemen, then what were mine? There was not a radical feminist standing up and yelling about how my rights were being violated that day. In fact, my life was being snuffed out in the name of women's rights. And ladies and gentlemen, I would not have cerebral palsy had I not survived all of this. So when I hear the appalling, disgusting argument that we should have abortions because the child just might be disabled, the horror that fills my heart. So ladies and gentlemen, you have an opportunity. But for just a brief moment, I would like to speak directly to the men in this room and do something that is never done. Men, You are made for greatness. You are made to stand up and be men. You are made to defend women and children, not stand by and turn your head when you know murder is occurring and do nothing about it. You are not made to use women and leave us alone. You are made to be kind and great and gracious and strong and stand for something. Because men, listen to me, I am too tired to do your job.
Another heated altercation has broken out in Rundle Mall around the controversial Christian preachers. Reporter Jane Stinson has the details.
Police were called to Rundle Mall after yet another melee involving the controversial evangelist preachers. Witnesses I spoke to said there was pushing, shoving and yelling after a woman spat at one of the preachers.
Officers were quick on the scene and managed to ease tensions, the altercations becoming a frequent occurrence.
There was a lady that was spitting and there was some arguing, some grabbing of jumpers, screaming, a bit of everything. But I see it all the time, so I can see.
An abortion, the murder of an innocent child. Folks, have you ever seen an abortion take place? Have you ever seen a baby be torn apart limb by limb as the baby is violently shaking and screaming for somebody to save it as it's torn apart and then sucked out of the womb? Have you ever seen an abortion take place, but for the sake of a convenient lifestyle, a young lady, an old lady will have an abortion for the sake of their own desire and kill an innocent child? What has society come to when murder happens for the sake of convenience and needing to realise that the wrath of God abides on you, that the wrath of God is coming for you, not because you're perfect, not because God is an insane God, but because justice must be served on a human being like you and like me.
Clashes with evangelical street preachers in Rundle Mall are escalating.
It has become to a group called Street Church and deliver their fiery sermons by the Silver Balls on Friday nights.
What I would like to start off with is a verse in Timothy where the Apostle Paul, who was previously known as Saul of Tarsus, says that this is a message which is worthy of all acceptation. In other words, everybody should listen to this message. The message is this: that Jesus Christ came into this world to save sinners. And then he adds this word, of which I am chief. So he puts himself...
We're going with what Jesus said. Jesus says repent or perish.
The animosity between the...
Men, you are made for greatness. You are made to stand up and be men. You are made to defend women and children, not stand by and turn your head when you know murder is occurring and do nothing.
The commotion has infuriated Rundle Mall management. General Manager Martin Hasey says the preachers are driving shoppers away.
What I think we're seeing here tonight is chaos, and these preachers need to be removed from Rundle Mall before they cause unmitigated economic and social damage.
The preachers won an appeal against the Adelaide City Council to stay in the mall.
Mr. Cornwall says he's offered an olive branch to the council to try to resolve their differences by negotiation. But instead, the council spending tens of thousands of dollars on yet another appeal, this time to the High Court in Canberra.
And homosexuality and lesbianism is a sin in the eyes of our holy God.
The confrontation moved with the rally as it marched from Victoria Square to Parliament House.
There was not a radical feminist standing up and yelling about how my rights were being violated that day. In fact, my life was being snuffed out in the name of women's rights.
Kate, protesters are vowing to return every Friday until the preachers leave.
We're playing for keeps. We're playing for... I'm hoping to be hated by the time that I die so that I can feel God about me and understand what it was to be hated. I mean, he was hated. Christ was hated.
I did not come on my own authority, but he sent me. Why do you understand what I say? It is because you cannot bear to listen to my message. You are the children of your father, the devil, and you want to follow your father's desires. From the very beginning, he was a murderer and has never been on the side of truth, because there is no truth.
Tempers have flared during another heated protest involving Rundle Mall's defiant Christian preachers. The regular Friday night clashed under the watchful eye of police for a fourth consecutive week. Preachers captured this heated argument. Traders have become caught up in the rowdy feud, losing business from wary customers.
The world cannot hate you, but it hates me, because I keep telling it that its ways are bad.
We can't understand God unless we hear about him. We need to hear that he is a God of love. At the same time, he is a God of justice. He is a God who will judge sin. Now, what is sin? This is the important part of the gospel. We must understand that every human being has been overcome and is wrought upon by sin. Our nature is that we are sinners. We sin because we are sinners. Christ then died for the sinner.
We're going by what Jesus said. Jesus says repent or